So Timpson and Reese will jump it up. How about this? The difference with who gets a top 4 seed, the odds with a win versus a loss, dramatic decrease or increase depending on a win or a loss for both these teams in this game. Atlanta has taken 2 of the first 3 meetings. This is the 4th and final of the regular season between the Fever and Dream. Here's Clark, guarded by Sherrod, finds Timpson on the roll. She'll lay it in.
One of the things you see right away, Mikayla Timpson is going to have the assignment picking up the ball handler as she comes down the floor, cross-matching Caitlin Clark on Na's helmet.
Timpson has that matchup on Sherrod. Here is Howard, guarded by Hull. Gray with 6 to shoot, wants the screen from Hillman. 3 to shoot. Reese will fire a 3. Missed it. Timpson the board, and Indiana controls.
And defensively, if you're the Indiana Fever, you will live with that shot all night long.
Timpson looking for some help. Finding it in the corner. Hull will attack it baseline. Missed the lay. Timpson, the putback is good. Mikayla Timpson's game has grown so much over the course of the season. They spent a lot of time working with Indiana's player development staff. And we've seen her really blossom as Gray separates and buries the 3. Here's Clark. Clark shedding Sherrod. Clark is going to get called for an offensive foul as she had gotten past Sherrod, but then used a little push-off. And that's an early personal on Caitlin Clark. Just assume you don't have a lot to work with tonight.
You saw Leah Boston, how far she was playing off of Angel Reese there, just completely clogging the paint.
Clark, a bomb, is short, and Sherrod at the strong side. Rebound, looking to push for Atlanta. Here's Sherrod quickly up the floor. Gray again. Alicia Gray, 2 for 2 from deep.
Atlanta wants to play fast, push the pace, as does Indiana.
Clark bangs all the way in and finishes. That's what she was able to do the other night against Dallas. Just relentless attacks at the rim.
She's really gotten better at that this season and not ever shying away from contact, just going right into the defender. It's one of the reasons she's getting to the line so much this season.
Here's Sherrod, can't hit. Reese left alone. Reese gets denied by Boston. It squirts out to Clark. Here's Clark, wheeling, dishing, Hull taking, can't hit. Sherrod with Reese leaking out, finds her, and Reese can't finish the layup. Clark lobbing it in, Boston deep position, and the finish. Great early seal from Aaliyah Boston.
Not only to get the position, but then on the catch, to use her body to create additional space to put the ball up on the rim.
That's thrown into the backcourt. Mitchell will go and get it, or it will be a backcourt violation. Or an out of bounds. That was door number 3, and it's door number 3 that was chosen. The connection between her and Clark over the last 3 seasons. There's Mitchell firing and hitting on a 3.
With Sherrod out of the game, Ryan Howard now has the length and the defensive assignment on Caitlin Clark. Well, she will when they're back on defense.
A 7-0 run from Indiana. Mitchell, 18 straight games with at least 20 points. That's the longest single-season streak in W history. The longest 2-season streak belongs to Asia Wilson as the jump ball called here. Asia did it in 20 straight over 2 seasons.
Kelsey Mitchell and her ability to score off of handoffs. And there was Aaliyah Boston, just one dribble, pull it back, drain the 3. And on this defensive end of the floor, Aaliyah Boston's been terrific so far. Blocking shots, helping defensively, rebounding as well.
Wins the tip there, back to Clark. Clark eyeing Mitchell, trying to get it to her, threw it a little behind her. Mitchell able to control. Mitchell jittering into the paint.
Nas Hellman playing a little bit free safety off of Mikayla Timpson in the paint.
Kelsey Mitchell lost a shoe. Timpson lost the ball out of bounds to Atlanta as Kelsey Mitchell tries to put that shoe back on and retie it.
I think she's going to get it on, but I don't think she's going to retie it. Maybe next possession. Oh, here she goes. Oh, trying. it's hard to tie your shoe on the move, Ryan Ruocco.
I mean, should she just give up with it? I'm getting stressed out watching her attempt it. Reese can't finish it.
She's still going. She's still tying the shoe.
We need a timer on this.
Velcro.
Here's Clark working behind Boston. Has the switch on Reese. Will fire and hit from three.
We saw in the game against New York, Caitlin Clark tends to drain her threes when she's got bigger defenders on her. And she mentioned in her post-game interview with Holly Rowe, it just makes me get more arc on the shot.
And you saw it on that one. Gray attacking and flipping it in. Clark had to be careful there already with one personal.
And smart by Gray to go right at her.
Clark bangs in, gets the whistle, and will shoot two.
Caitlin with just, wow, what a screen by Aaliyah Boston. And then the roll, they get the switch of Reese onto Caitlin Clark. And that's solid defense on the switch. She's right there. She has her hand up to contest. But the range is special for Caitlin Clark.
There are so many stats that would just dazzle you with the way Caitlin Clark has been playing of late. For a little more, let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, she actually told us last game that she loves when she has a bigger defender on her like that for those three-point shots because it helps her get a little more arch. You see Angel Reese come out. She's like, that helps the arc in my shot. We saw Camila Cardozo on her last game. This game, she actually likes the bigger defender in her face on the threes. And
that was something, Rebecca, you had even pointed out during the game, just off mic, how as a shooter that can really help you as Okat lays it in. By the way, we saw those numbers on Clark. No player has ever led the league in assists and finished top 3 in scoring. She's third right now in points per game while leading the league in assists. Howard will fire and bury the three. Ryan Howard, one of the best two-way players in the league, knocks that one down. Here's Mitchell dishing. Hull gets a corner look. Can't hit. Been a tough season for Lexi Hull. Been a little better of late, but just 35% from three after a couple years in the 40s. Howard misses that one. Out of bounds. And it will be Indiana basketball. 4:10 to go in the first. And the Fever. Bree Jones on the bench there. Out, has missed much of this season due to injury, but Carl Smesko telling us before the game, we do not believe it is season ending, and she is so key to what the Dream do and them being at their best. Here's Mitchell, back to Clark, guarded by Howard. Clark goes behind the back, finds Mitchell on the cut. Mitchell can't pop it in. Reese able to secure the rebound. It is not hyperbole to say that Angel Reese is tracking as the greatest rebounder this league has ever seen.
The numbers prove it. No other player in their career, as you see Okat get it inside, no other player in her career in the history of the league has averaged double-figure rebounds for her career. And Angel Reese is at 12.6. You see what she's doing, offensive rebounding as well. She has the highest offensive rebound percentage and the highest defensive rebound percentage for a career of any player in the history of the game.
Can I also just say this? I really love the colorway she's wearing in her AR1s today, too. That is a gorgeous shoe.
Beautiful.
That Angel Reese is rocking today.
I'm guessing she wouldn't wear it against the Liberty since it's kind of a
seafoam green. Yeah, maybe not, but it's a beautiful color. Katie Barnes, highly recommend. She did a great story on ESPN, just documenting all that goes into Angel's rebounding with a lot of interesting thoughts dating back to her high school days, and how she really studies the way her teammates miss shots and where the ball is most likely to come off of, depending on who it is shooting and from where. Here's Timpson on the attack, and foul is called. Michaela Timpson now is going to go to the line to shoot two.
How fun has it been to watch Michaela Timpson and just her confidence on the offensive end throughout the course of the season, especially since she's been put in the starting lineup. There were stretches at times where she looked like a little bit uncertain when she would catch the basketball, and we haven't seen that in the last few games. We've seen an assertive young woman.
Taking a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule coming up next here on ESPN. It'll be Portland and Phoenix. Diana Taurasi's jersey retirement ceremony tomorrow on Peacock. Dallas, Golden State at 10 Eastern. Then Tuesday night, an ESPN doubleheader with Indy in Toronto at 7. And then Atlanta, Vegas at 9. For more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. Reese gets denied by Timpson. What a left-handed block from Michaela Timpson.
Angel Reese just driving down, can handle. Looks like one foot slips a little bit as she goes in, and Timpson, those long arms. Great shot blocking ability.
Lob it into Reese, guarded by Timpson. Looking to take it to her. Reese, the footwork, couldn't finish it. Okot keeps it alive, gets knocked around, ends up with Mitchell. Mitchell trying to find some space. Whirling, dishing. Billings. Timpson, no hesitation there.
Nice connection that time between Billings and Timpson. The right pass and creating post to post.
Howard can't hit the three. Billings the rebound. Out there with Clark, Cunningham, Mitchell, and Timpson. Here's Clark getting in the mid-range. Now backing away, firing, it rims out.
This is a lineup for Indiana on the offensive end. That's going to be tough to get spacing because of Billings and Timpson.
Reese nuzzles in and fillets it home. Foul there on Reese. That will be her first. As Ty Harris, Aaliyah Boston will check in. Clark and Timpson will get a rest.
Michaela Timpson just goes to the other side where her post partner is not, so she can be open to score. Angel on balance, creates, and finally finishes.
Reese was 0 for 6 from the floor before making that layup. Has 4 rebounds already. Here's Mitchell digging in and cups it home. Kelsey Mitchell with 5. Gray, high archer, won't go. Rebound, Caroms out to Cunningham. Cunningham guarded by Howard. Boston with space. Rims off on a 3. Borlase the rebound. Here's Izzy Borlase lumbering in, gets fouled by Harris. And free throws for Borlase.
Kelsey Mitchell and her ability to score at every single level, and you see her in, out, and she gets the big on her and just knows she can go by with her quickness, but she really does a good job, and she can evade length.
You know, we were talking about, and we'll give you them throughout the broadcast, so many different statistical nuggets for Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, how they've been rewriting the record books for Indiana. How about this one for Kelsey Mitchell? She has had 18 straight games with 20-plus points, right? But she's also had 18 games this season with 20 points on 50% shooting or better. That is already the most games by a guard in a single season ever, scoring at least 20 points on 50% shooting.
And what's even more incredible to me about that is the volume of threes that she takes.
Yeah.
Usually that would bring down your overall percentage sum, but she's shooting the 3 ball so well, it's only helping her.
44% on the season, and even more absurd during this stretch, as you saw right there. Mitchell jittering, popping, can't finish. Okot the rebound. 19-19, good action early between the Dream and the Fever. Borlase flips it too strong. Boston quickly ahead to Ty Harris. Harris, one of the heroes the other night against Dallas, went 5 for 5 from 3. Billings turns and banks it in.
Billings had the size advantage in that matchup and just, again, going strong and with confidence to the rim.
Boston on the steal. Quickly ahead to Harris. Harris finds Mitchell. Didn't take. Had some space. Now Boston just cut right through the D. Couldn't finish it. Nice save to keep the rebound alive by Aaliyah Nye. Nye will fire. Back iron it off. And it tilts out of bounds to Indiana.
And I think every player out here happy that the ball's out of bounds. They can catch their breath a little bit. This has been quite the pace.
Even the broadcasters don't mind it from time to time.
Not too much, but time to time.
Indiana first in the league in pace. Atlanta fourth. Carl Semesko was talking to us before the game about the reason they've had success against Indiana this year has been their ability to get out and run, force turnovers. That's something the Dream have done so well this season. First in fast break points, second in points off of turnovers, trailing only Minnesota. Mitchell can't hit. Another rebound for Reese. Shot clock turned off. 5 seconds to go in this first. Howard cutting, flipping, gets the whistle. Ryan Howard will shoot two. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, because of the illness to Jordan Canada, who's not with the team today, and because Tahina Paupau's coming back from a right knee injury, she's on a 15-minute restriction today. You're going to see much more of this Ryan Howard at the point. This is a role that she had to play last year when Jordan Canada was out, and the coach and her teammates say she's great at it. So we'll see how she's able to get them into an offense and get them flowing here.
Ryan leading the league in steals, been more efficient from the three-point line. Here is Harris chucking it up. That'll do it for the first, tied at 21 after one in Atlanta. A lot on the line when it comes to the season series and tiebreakers.
In the two games that Atlanta won was their ability to turn Indiana over. In their game on June 18th, turned them over 17 times for 20 points. Game on June 20th, turned Indiana over 19 times for 18 points.
Sherrod unable to finish. Reese grabs it off the bounce of Boston. Swings it back out. By the way, Indiana just 2 turnovers in that first quarter. What a take from Gray, who is dazzled out of the gate so far tonight. She has 10.
So good at going left, and Sophie Cunningham cut that off, but she was able to come right back on the spin and finish.
Cunningham looking for help, finds Clark. How about this? Clark to a wide open Harris. Her three is good. Picking up right where she left off after going 5 of 5 the other night. (24-23), Indiana in front. Rod controls the high dribble, got her first career start tonight. Here's Borlase, can't finish it, but a foul on Cunningham. Free throws for Borlase.
Alicia Gray, the last possession, she's coming down the lefty, going strong left, but spins right back off the defender, gets the easy look. And then the following possession, Caitlin Clark just finding Ty Harris open. Been feeling it of late. It's interesting, this last possession, Indiana was in their cross-match defensively, and Caitlin Clark was on Naz Hillman, but Naz did not try at all to take her into the paint and post her up. You would think they would look for that a little bit more, maybe tag another foul on Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, picked up an early offensive foul. By the way, talking about Ty Harris, she and Caitlin shared a nice moment at the podium following the game on Thursday night. Caitlin said Ty Harris is one of the best teammates she has ever had. It's been amazing to watch her, always giving energy to the group, whether she plays 3 minutes or 20 minutes. And then Ty said, you know, Cece leaves me in awe. Said, I'm watching her sometimes thinking this feels normal, but it really isn't normal what she's doing. As Clark hits another mid-range, which has become a fixture in her game here in 2026.
Pin down on the screen, and Sherrod goes over the top of it, so Caitlin Clark goes under it, and that's why she is open, gets to the mid-range and drains it. It's all about reading the defense and using the screen accordingly.
Her first 2 years shot at 34% from the mid-range. This year, 43%. And already more points from the mid-range this season than she had her first 2 years combined. As Boston gets called for the foul, that will be her first.
One more time on Caitlin Clark and her ability to see the defense and read the screen accordingly. You see Sherrod going over the top. I believe Boston sets great screens. So Caitlin Clark goes under, as a result gets to the spot, plenty of space to drain it.
8 points, 3 assists for Clark, who's 3 of 5 from the floor. You see those mid-range numbers we were talking about, courtesy of Genius IQ. Stephanie White was talking about just how good Caitlin's feel has been of late, for when to get hers, what shots to take, her control of the game, her floor game overall. As Reese can't finish, and Harris comes away with it. Here's Clark with some haste. Boston gets slammed in the paint, and the foul is called by Naz Hillman. That will be her first. But Boston is so good at establishing that position early on.
She rim runs every single time. Gets to the paint, makes the defense work hard, puts pressure on them.
What does she do?
Puts pressure on them.
No, rim run?
Oh, not red rum.
Boston able to flip it in. Aaliyah Boston, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Indiana, 3-point lead on Atlanta. Here's Howard. Ryan Howard navigates around 3 defenders. Great look for Gray on the finish.
Did you see when Gray caught it, never brought it down, kept it high, went right into her shot.
Cunningham can't hit. Indiana just 3 of 11 from 3. Borlase had it knocked away by Boston, gets it back. Can't float it in, and it's out of bounds off of Cunningham as Reese was able to keep it alive.
Alicia Gray, as she runs the baseline, trying to get open, and when she catches the ball, watch. Just keeps it high. Keeps it high and puts it right up. Gets the shot up quickly as a result.
Gray, 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting.
Great support.
Here's Reese in the paint, kicking out. Hillman can't hit. Long rebound, Cunningham. Here's Clark, always playing at a breakneck pace. Goes behind the back. Timpson couldn't finish it. Does on the follow. A little smile from Clark, who certainly wanted the highlight assist, but gets the bucket. Timpson's putback. Gray can't hit it there. Here's Clark. Wheeling, found some space, didn't take. Finds Boston in the paint, threading the needle for 2.
It looked like Caitlin Clark was open, going to her left to take the shot. Instead, she fed Aaliyah Boston with a beautiful dime. Because this league is not 5 years old anymore. This is 30 years that we have to compare it to. What a stretch by Caitlin Clark.
She now has 20 career games with at least 20 points and 10 assists. That is more than any other franchise has in its history. Here is Howard, and a whistle before the 3. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Caitlin Clark has been appointment viewing for a lot of people. In her 3 years in the WNBA, 20 times opponents have moved Indiana Fever games to a larger arena. So, for example, today, normally the Dream play at the Gateway Center. They can fit in 3,500 people. Today, 1,700 people can get into this arena. Not only the only consideration to move a game to a bigger arena, I do think the Dream need more seats and need more people coming to their games because the demand has raised here in Atlanta. But Caitlin Clark, a huge reason why 20 times people have moved her games to bigger arenas.
All right, thank you very much, Al. Let's bring in Ty Harris right now, live from the bench. All right, Ty, since we're talking about your teammate, you guys shared such a nice moment on the podium after the game against Dallas the other night. Where you said there's times you're watching Caitlin and you catch yourself in awe. What has the connection been like between you two in that backcourt?
I mean, I'm just trying to help her with whatever. If it's defense, if it's bringing the ball up, if it's giving it to her, being ready to shoot. I mean, what she does is magnificent. It does leave me speechless, but she makes it look so normal.
You have certainly been on one in terms of your three-point shooting. Last game into this game, what has started to click so well for you?
Just being ready when my number is called. I mean, I have the confidence. Just whenever Steph calls my name or my number, I'm ready, locked and loaded. I mean, all the attention is on Kelsey, AB, and Cece, so it makes it easy for me.
Ty, you have been a total difference maker on the court this season, the best net rating of anybody on the team. What has your focus been on your impact when you touch the floor on a nightly basis for this group?
Exactly that, making a big impact, bringing energy, bringing a spark off the bench, continuing to bring what Cece and Kelsey bring, and helping them.
All right, Ty, we appreciate the time. Continued success to you.
Thank you.
That's Ty Harris joining us live from the bench. A net rating of +13 this season to lead Indiana. Clark tried to bounce into Billings, couldn't quite hang on. Out of bounds to Atlanta. Pretty incredible move from Clark on the drive before that.
The previous possession just coming down, and she's gotten so good at going behind the back, right to left, being shifty, getting back to her right hand as she drives to the basket. As Billings go by, you see her say, my fault, my fault. I don't know that it was, but that's the right thing for Caitlin Clark to say to boost her teammates' confidence.
Here's Howard, denied by Billings. An emphatic rejection from Marie Billings.
Did you see Ryan Howard gets the step on Sophie Cunningham? The second line of defense is there to help.
Angel Reese gets called for the illegal screen before the inbound there. That's going to be her second. A WNBA League Pass gives you a courtside seat every week. Stream live games from across the league all season long. Scan the QR code to subscribe now for $39.99 a year and press play on the WNBA. Here's Mitchell. Timpson, 6 to shoot. Finds Clark. Back to Timpson in the lane for the lay.
Second time now where Caitlin Clark certainly had the time and space to shoot, but instead she's feeding her teammates.
5 assists now for Clark. Timpson is up to 10 points. Here is Clark speeding behind the back. That one got a little too ambitious. O'Cott on the steal. And Clark giving a face like, yeah, that was not the move. Howard short on a 3. Reese the rebound. Reese the putback is good. Atlanta had missed its last 9 shots before that make from Angel Reese. Reese is up to 8 rebounds already in this first half. Here's Mitchell. Mitchell banging, flipping, couldn't finish it. O'Cott the rebound. Off to Reese. See, Reese has that versatility to be able to run the floor with the basketball in her hands. Gray flips it in, plus the foul, and a chance for 3. Timpson has held her opponents as the primary defender to 0 for 6 from the floor in this first half.
Michaela Timpson, and she's not in the game right now, but her defensive versatility for the Fever, to me, changes so much of what they can be on the defensive end. That's been their Achilles heel this year, right, is how they have been defensively. And her ability not only to switch onto guards, but to pick them up full court and then allow you to switch and cross-match the rest of the possession is going to change things.
She started this game guarding Jalen Sherrod.
Full court.
Yes. Boston kicks it out. Raven Johnson in now for Indiana. Here's Clark. Clark with the shot clock fading, has to put it up. Left it short. Rebound O'Cott. Atlanta on a run here. Here's Gray. Knocked away by Mitchell. Reese, outstanding effort to keep it alive. Borlase bounces. Reese gets hammered by Billings, and free throws here for Angel Reese, who did an amazing job to keep the possession alive after the deflection from Kelsey Mitchell. Billings picks up her second. Misses the first. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, you talked about Katie Barnes' great article about Angel Reese and her rebounding acumen. My favorite story in there was her mom had to take the basketball rim out of the driveway because Angel and her brother Julian, who is playing in the NBA also, would get in so many fights and they would be so noisy in the neighborhood. She just finally had to take the rim down. So I love this competitive nature of this family. And don't sleep on mom. Angel Webb at UMBC had 3 games with 20 or more rebounds. Rebounding runs in that family. Great article, Katie Barnes.
It certainly does. Thank you, Hall. As Billings misses the jumper. Here comes Reese. Off the glass, running the floor. Gray. Back to Reese. Taking it to Billings, looking for an angle, and finding it.
Angel Reese got the board, initiated the possession, and finished the possession.
Clark with space, left it short. Boston the rebound. Boston banging inside, the spin and the finish 8 points, 4 boards for Aaliyah Boston.
Completely self-created by Aaliyah Boston, getting the offensive board and then a couple dribbles back down to finish.
Indiana led by as many as 9. Atlanta cut it to 1 a moment ago. Reminder, Diane Taurasi's jersey retirement game coming up next on ESPN. Shot clock down to 1. Borlase buries the 3. Got lost in the corner, and this game is tied.
Got lost because Indiana sent multiple defenders to Angel Reese. What a catch by Aaliyah Boston there.
And she's fouled by Okot.
Angel's been a handful when she's caught the ball deep in the paint, and you see her here. Boston comes over. Now you have the defense in rotation, and Borlase gets the open look.
Atlanta had missed 9 straight threes after starting 3 for 3 before that make from Borlase. Meanwhile, this first half, Atlanta 10 of 11 from the line, while Indiana is just 1 for 6 from the free throw line. Mitchell will fire. Can't hit the 3. Timpson the rebound. Timpson spinning inside, gets fouled. That'll be Reese, and that will be her 3rd as she immediately goes to the bench, asking them to challenge it. Carl Smesko wants some data on whether or not he should, and he is told no. So number 3 on Angel Reese.
I love Michaela Timpson, though. She just gobbled up that rebound, and then we talked about her confidence, and then just went up confidently with it to get herself to the line. She can rebound out of her area, exceptionally long arms, great instincts. You see her here. Just has a beat on the ball, snatches it with her long arms, and goes right back up with it.
Timpson hits both free throws. She's up to 12 points in this first half. Borlase hands it off. Gray dumps it in. Okot couldn't finish it, gets it back, and squeezes it home. Got it just around her college teammate, Raven Johnson. Oh, Clark lost it. Just dribbled it off her leg. Howard on the steal, Hillman on the finish, and that's how Atlanta really gets going. Indiana's done a good job protecting the ball in this first half, but if you turn it over, they turn it into points, just the 5th Fever turnover. Mitchell long 2, won't go. Borlase, good box out. Mitchell just 2 for 9 in this first half. Hillman drops it, flings it out. 8 to shoot. Gray got hit. Foul called on Mitchell. That will be her 2nd, and free throws for Alicia Gray.
No one is better at picking pockets in the WNBA this season than Ryan Howard, and that's what happened. She was just able to snatch it from Caitlin Clark and then running the other way. Easy ones for Naz Hillman. We talked about it earlier this season. When Indiana lost to Atlanta, they just turned the ball over. It completely changed the tide of the game. Turning the tide. Change the tide? Same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all understood what you were trying to say. Change, turn.
Even if we're doing a landlocked game, I can use that reference, right?
Hey, coming up on the Ally WNBA halftime, is this a playoff preview? Malika, Monica, Drea, and Janae coming up on the Ally WNBA halftime. First of 2 games for our Women's Sports Sunday here on ESPN tonight. As Gray hits them both. Atlanta now with their largest lead of the night. It is 4. A 13-point swing thanks to a 17-4 run. Indiana letting the clock wind. Just a 2-second difference. Game and shot clock. Mitchell with 6. Mitchell looking for an angle. Couldn't lay it in. Boston the rebound. The fall away. Blocked by Okot. And that'll do it for the first half. Atlanta. holding her to 1 of 6 from the floor as the primary defender. Do we have Izzy or no? Let's chat now with Izzy Borlase joining us from Atlanta's bench, the Australian rookie. All right, Izzy, what were you guys able to do as a team there at the end of that second quarter to go on that 17-4 run?
I think it was just the defensive stops. I think defense leads into our transition, and yeah, Ryan, Leisha doing a really great job on their top 2 scorers.
A couple players missing, important ones, with Bree Jones and Jordan Canada. What's kind of the mindset for you when you come to a game when you're down some players?
Yeah, it's just about taking your opportunities. You never know when they're going to come, and as I'm learning, it's a really long season. So yeah, opportunities do come, and just trying to be as aggressive as I can.
All right, Izzy, we appreciate the time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
That's Izzy Borlase joining us as the foul's called here on Gray. That will be her second.
Gray trying to fight over the top on the handoff and just got her hands a little bit too much involved there in Caitlin Clark's body.
Big tiebreaker implications in this game as Mitchell hits the jumper off the Clark inbound. Those two have connected on more inbound buckets than any duo in the WNBA this season. Indiana, half-game lead on Atlanta. There they go to Hillman in the post. Clark able to defend her without fouling. First time we've seen them really attack that matchup.
You saw the switch on the perimeter with Boston and Timpson, but then you got the advantage inside by Hillman.
Boston can't float it in. Battles back for it, out of bounds to Atlanta. So Indiana with the half-game lead on Atlanta. Indiana currently the 4, Atlanta the 5. This is their final meeting. Atlanta has taken 2 of the first 3. So they win this game. They have the tiebreaker over Indiana. Fever win, and the season series is tied. Well, Boston just tried to snatch it, and that is going to be a jump ball. The heads-up play.
Yeah, Leah Boston's had active hands on the defensive side today, and here she just goes in as Angel Reese's gaze is turned elsewhere. We've seen a couple deflections from Leah Boston, a steal as well.
It's no South Carolina LSU matchup right there.
That's right.
Which I believe happens on February 21st this year. I don't know officially yet, but I would think it would be on ESPN or ABC. Here's Mitchell behind Boston. Pull-up jumper is good. Is the Kelsey burner coming now? Usually when it rains, it pours for Kelsey Mitchell buckets. Knocked away by Boston, looking to flag it down. Gray able to wrestle it away.
But another deflection from Boston just by having her hands high and active.
Howard separates, can't hit. Boston the rebound. Into the arms of Clark. Clark, guarded by Sherrod, will fire a bomb and hit from way downtown.
Guessing we'll have that now.
Indiana back in front. It's a 7-0 run. Gray cuts through the double and lays it in. What a beautiful take from Alicia Gray. Mitchell. Jitters, pops, and hits. Yeah, I think she found it.
The flame has been lit. The pilot light. Getting some little extra oil there, Ryan.
If this was NBA Jam, she'd have the
NBA. They were the foundation because the marketing arm of that team was NBA Entertainment. They got to use us as a test balloon to see, is this country ready for pro women's basketball? And certainly the answer was yes. And 30 years later, we're all celebrating the way this game has grown.
You know, I do think there are times I take for granted what a legend you are. I mean, think about this. You are the original foundational star of the UConn dynasty. You're part of that transformative 96 Olympic team. You're one of the original 3 in the WNBA, now celebrating its 30th year. You've sat in this seat for more than a decade and a half. I've been lucky enough to be a part of the last 14. You've called countless Final Fours, and I can say your commitment has only ever been to 2 things: calling it like you see it and amplifying the greatness of these women on the floor. And partner, I hope you felt proud and loved last night, because you should be, and you are.
Thank you for those kind words. And yet, at the reception on the first night we were there, the first thing someone said to me is, "Where is Mr. You Bet?" And the person who said that was Elena Deladon's mother, Joan Deladon. "Where's Mr. You Bet?" And I said, well, he's not here. He's going to be calling a game. Anyway, she is convinced that the first ever WNBA You Bet that you did was for Elena.
That could be.
It could be.
You know, it was, first of all, hi to Joan and thank you.
Yes.
We love Joan. Seeing Candace and Elena go in last night was amazing, because for me, I started calling games in 2013. Those are two of the players that immediately hooked me to loving calling these games. Just their greatness. Also, shout out to Shavika Holtzball, who went into the Hall of Fame as well yesterday. Just a really incredible celebration for women's basketball as Reese gets fouled and Atlanta's come out of the timeout hot here, a chance to extend the lead.
And just to further that a little bit,
really
in terms of how the women's professional game has grown, last night there were 3 women's players that went into the Hall. There was 1 men's player that went into the Hall, and I would think that that's the first time we've had more women than men go in. Pretty incredible.
Meanwhile, Mitchell picks up her 4th foul. So something to watch for Indiana. We know how critical Kelsey Mitchell is to their success. She was just starting to heat up. And now Mitchell will check out. Ty Harris in. Harris has made a positive impact consistently this year when she's touched the floor. Atlanta out of the timeout has built a 6-point lead, a 7-0 run in the last minute and 20 seconds. Here's Clark coming back to the basketball, working behind Boston. Clark, step back 3 off the mark. Good D there from Reese. Leaking out now. Borlays, little runner, won't go. Timpson tips it. Cunningham grabs it. Off to Clark. Clark looking to work the lane on Pow. The left-handed finish from Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
15 points, 6 assists for Clark.
Especially going left.
Pow, no. Harris scoops it up for Indiana. Boston working behind Clark, setting a screen on Howard. Boston wants it back. Has size on Hillman, looking to take it to her. Trying to get it to the cutter. It's Timpson in the lane, elevating. Can't finish. Hillman, great job to battle for that board for Atlanta. A reminder, Diana Taurasi's jersey retirement coming up next as Pow buries the 3. And Indiana takes a timeout. Caitlin Clark trying to fire up her teammates. Changes, and neither team has led by double digits at any point. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Alicia Gray has made some great business news in the last couple of weeks. She has done a custom goggle with Nike that is really groundbreaking. She said the favorite design she has is red, but the shields will actually swap out so she can have that clear shield or a red shield. What I like about it is the peripheral side of the goggles has complete vision. She wears contact lenses, and after a 3-on-3 practice versus on the Olympic preparation in 2020, somebody poking her in the eye, she's been wearing those goggles ever since to protect her contacts. And guess what? They're sold out for Nike. I think they need to make some more.
Love that, Ollie, as Clark buries the 3. Good ball movement, that possession from Indiana. Like that move from Nike and Gray. Pow, not that time. Long rebound, Cunningham. Flips it ahead to Clark. Clark wielding into the paint. Kicks it out. Boston takes the 3, takes the 2, and nails it.
How many 6'5" post players can do that? You know, get the respect for their 3-point shot, then the one dribble pull up.
Not many is the answer.
Yeah. Oh, I was waiting for you to answer.
Hillman kicks it out. Pow, misses the 3. Out of bounds to Atlanta.
But in fairness,
Indiana.
typically when I ask men in my life a question, I'm going to answer it as well. So fairness to you. Caitlin Clark coming down. Great dribble penetration by Sophie Cunningham. 2 feet in the paint and then finds Caitlin Clark out on the perimeter. And Caitlin, another clinic today, just making the right pass this time for her in the paint, passing out, and great finish there by Aaliyah Boston.
18 points, 7 assists for Clark, who's 7 of 12 from the floor, 3 of 7 from 3. Boston has 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. How about Mercedes Russell getting minutes here? Clark, back ironing off, looking to flag it down, can't get to it. Would have given Indiana the lead, out of bounds to Atlanta. How about the addition of Mercedes Russell and her getting time here in a 2-point game?
Yeah, this is her second game that she's gotten in for Indiana, being signed a little over a week ago. Brings great size at 6'6". Her teammates and coaches at previous stops have always raved about her intelligence and her ability to be communicative on offense and defense.
Reese guarded by Clark, and a whistle or jump ball. One official had jump ball, one official had foul. And they will call a foul on Clark rather than the jump. And looked like if Clark fouled her, it was earlier in the possession, not when they actually blew the whistle. But Indiana will not challenge, as Cruz came in and overruled Randy Richardson.
So here is
that's
the
a
hook.
foul, yes.
Yeah, so that was the one you'd have to call, because after that, Angel is the one who's initiating the contact. She's very good at that, carving out space, using her body to do so.
Maybe also the left hand of Clark may have gotten it one more time, and that might have been what Cruz called for the foul. Reese cashes in now, 5 of 6 from the line. Here's Clark, 4-point game. And that is going to be called an offensive foul.
Got to be careful.
On Mercedes Russell. And immediately Indiana goes to the bench and says, should we challenge this? Oh. And Indiana wanted to challenge it and did not get a chance to. Great, clearly fouled Clark. The only question is, was it an illegal screen from Russell first?
Her hip on the left side was poking out a bit.
And so that's why that was called first. Here's Harris. Guarded by Borlase. And a whistle here against Atlanta. It stays here.
Watch Mercedes Russell and her left hip as she sets the screen. This is where it's going to get called a foul right here. Or I guess it's her right hip. Just leans it over enough to impede the defense. And yes, that pushes Gray into Clark. But yeah, I think that's the right call, Ryan.
Russell can't finish it, gets fouled, and Mercedes Russell will shoot 2.
Mercedes Russell, a career 65% free throw shooter.
It's a tough spot to be put in here. 2-point game late in the third quarter of a game that's tight in the standings.
Players will take any minutes they can get, tough spot or not.
Well, I know they will. They don't miss Tuesday's action-packed WNBA doubleheader. Watch Indiana face Toronto at 7 Eastern. Atlanta take on Las Vegas at 9. Catch both on ESPN and the ESPN app. And Russell calmly knocks down both free throws. First 2 points of her return to the W. Mitchell remains on the bench with 4 fouls. 4-point Atlanta lead. It's been a back-and-forth game. Reese given space, will pull and hit. That is foul money for the Dream. Reese up to 13 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Ocott gets called for the foul.
Monique Billings intentionally playing off Angel Reese. Indiana wants her to take perimeter shots. She gets a little bit closer with the dribble and drains it. But yeah, as you said, found money there.
Here's Harris, and off to Clark. Guarded by Howard, an outstanding defender. Clark looking to separate, fading, and hitting. Has just become so automatic in the mid-range. 20 points, for Caitlin Clark.
And not just in the mid-range, the fadeaway and the step back in the mid-range. Levels that we have not seen from her previously.
Billings tips it. Reese controls it, guarded by 3 players. Gray ends up open, connecting on a 3. 24 for Alicia Gray. She's 3 of 5 from deep. Clark through the lane, reverses it in. 22 for Clark, trying to do everything she can for Indiana right now. Reese, the crossover, knocked out of bounds. It will stay here, and Indiana may want to challenge that one.
You see Caitlin just nuzzling into Howard. Step back, retreat, and the fade. That is new. And then her willingness to just attack the basket. That beautiful finish over her left shoulder.
12 in the quarter for Clark. Here's Gray, guarded by Harris. Reese looking in. Okot looking to take Russell, and does. 7-point Atlanta lead. Clark fading away, missed it left and long. An air ball out of bounds to Atlanta as Clark went for the 2-for-1.
The last possession, the ducking by Okot, and then just uses her size, goes over Russell. But the patience and terrific positioning by Okot.
Russell getting the call here rather than Timpson. Atlanta, a 7-point lead. Here is Gray, looking to extend it. Gray can't finish the layup. Out of bounds, it stays with Atlanta. Again, it's Reese in the mix, who even when she's not grabbing rebounds, keeps so many possessions alive for Atlanta.
Just relentless. She's relentless every single time a shot goes up.
Also a triple-double watch for Reese. 13 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. .7 to shoot for Atlanta. Gray, a 3. She got fouled. Alicia Gray will go to the line to shoot 3 free throws and can give the Dream the first double-digit lead of this game.
Well executed under out-of-bounds play, and Ty Harris gets in and just hits her right on the shooting arm.
We'll be back in 10 seconds after a message from Ally.
Fans are at their best when they help the team win. Ally Bank helps you win in the game where money and life collide. Ally is the bank fans bank on. Back to you.
All right, Monica, thank you very much. It's Gray. He's up to 26 points. Kelsey Mitchell will come in for this final offensive possession. She has sat much of the third, with Atlanta making this push. Gray up to 27 points, has 10 in the third. She is the leading scorer so far tonight. Here's Mitchell blasting into the paint off the bench and in the hoop. 2 seconds left. Howard the fling. That'll do it for the third. The Dream taking 8-point lead.
On the offensive end, she would have thrived in it.
Here is Mitchell. Sat much of the third with 4 fouls. Clark gets a breather at the beginning of the fourth. Here's Boston. Boston looking for an angle. Can't drop it in. Okot the rebound. Okot has given Atlanta some really good minutes here tonight. The rookie out of South Carolina, 8 points, 7 boards in 16 minutes.
We saw that early in the season as well when she was getting some minutes. Bree Jones being out, Okot gets more time on the floor, and she's been producing.
7th turnover for Atlanta.
We should let the people know at home how absolutely hot it is.
Oh
in this
my gosh,
building.
this has got to be the hottest arena I've ever experienced.
Yes.
Hot Atlanta indeed. We were joking with Renee Montgomery in the break about what happened with the AC here. Shot clock down to 4. Timpson, persistent. 14 for Michaela Timpson.
And that's hard to do, too. When you've just gotten your shot blocked, you retain the same defender, but she's smart. Creates space so that she can get the look.
6-point game. Gray has been incredible. 2 more. Alicia Gray with 29 points.
Over Timpson that time, too. Tough shot.
Gray has matched her season high. Her career high is 32. With almost a full quarter left, that is in peril. Boston got fouled by Okad. And Aaliyah Boston will shoot 2.
We know KK Timpson can guard perimeter players, and here she switches, and Gray just goes right there. Look, that's a tough shot. Especially going to your right side and fading as a lefty, because then you kind of have to come across your body in order to finish.
Gray only 31 years old, but the oldest player on this Atlanta roster. A 4-time All-Star who is seemingly just ascending higher and higher year after year. Was always an effective player, but she keeps getting better.
And one of the more delightful women in the seat to talk to as well.
Amazing. She's definitely on first-team All-Interview.
Yes.
Boston sinks her first 2 free throws of the game. Indiana now 7 of 12. Atlanta 19 of 20. That's what the Dream do. They shoot more free throws than any team in the W. 25 a game. Howard. Just 9 points tonight from Howard. Reese barrels in, can't finish, tipped out. Cunningham has it. Here comes Indiana. Looking to carve into the deficit. Boston with a lot of space. Turns, flipped it short. Timpson gets fouled. And it will stay here with Indiana as Billings and Clark get ready to check in for the Fever. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, I was listening into that last timeout after Steph White called timeout for the Indiana Fever, and she was really calm. She told her team, listen, we can't afford to be patient right here. This is nothing for us. At that point, they're down just 8 points. They can come back quickly and score a lot of points quickly, but she doesn't want them to be impatient with their offense. She also said, got to quit fouling and putting them on the line too much.
Mitchell buries the long 2. Toes just on the line for Mitchell as Clark and Billings come back in. Harris and Timpson out. Reese loses it. Gets it out to Hillman, 7 to shoot. Gray in a scramble, might have to make it happen herself. Gray fading, doesn't get the roll. Boston the box out. Clark looking up to Mitchell. Clark turns the corner. Hillman with the switch on her. Deflected out of bounds, stays with Indiana.
Ryan, I'm wondering if Michaela Timpson's okay or not feeling her best, because you would feel like the way she's playing, she would have gotten more minutes in the 3rd quarter, and even here, she's gone out. She looks like she's hydrating. She just looks like she might not be 100%.
Boston a 3. Too long. Tipped out. Cunningham has it and is fouled by Howard. That is already the 3rd team foul on Atlanta here in this 4th.
Kelsey Mitchell, the crossover, step back, pull the ball back, foot on the line.
Here's Mitchell firing along 2 again. Back ironing off, long rebound Gray. Reese running the floor, can't get to it. Atlanta turns it over. By the way, Mitchell, you know, 18 straight games of at least 20 points. Longest single season streak. 2nd longest overall streak, Asia Wilson with 20 straight over 2 connected seasons. Right now, Mitchell with 15. Back to Clark. Clark separating, taking, missed that one. Boston, a putback is good. Aaliyah Boston up to 14 points, 8 rebounds. It's a 2-point game. Orlays nearly threw it away. 6 to shoot. Gray working behind Howard. Switched on Clark. Gray, you bet! Alicia Gray has tied her career high with 32. Clark off to Boston. Fakes the three. Now will fire. Can't hit. Probably needed to take the first one. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the WNBA presented by Google Pixel. How about Alicia Gray tonight?
When you have 32 points, all eyes are on you. All 5 defenders looking unselfishly. Gets the ball to Borlase after she relocates, but she has been putting so much pressure on the Indiana Fever defense, whether she's gone off the bounce. She's dribbled left, gone right, finished inside, been terrific from the three-point line as well. Started this game on fire and has not cooled down an ounce.
Tied her career high with 32 points, 11 of 17 from the floor. She has not
Or a
cooled down.
degree, or a degree.
Either one. There's been no cooling in the building or for Alicia.
Fair.
Now Timpson will go to the scorer's table.
Indiana coming out of that timeout looking like they're in a zone.
Borlase kicks it out. Cunningham hit the deck. Reese 3 to shoot. Doubled. Hillman ends up alone. Can't hit the 3. Long rebound. Here's Howard. Shot clock down to 3 again. Hillman looking for help. Gray in trouble and a shot clock violation. Nice defensive set with Indiana going zone out of the timeout. And now Michaela Timpson getting ready to check in. Just waiting to be called. Now is. She will come and get Billings.
I think she was just getting her extra wall sit in before she entered the game.
Yeah, get that core ready.
Yeah. And quads.
Is that what the wall sit is really for?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Clark looking to turn the corner, bangs inside, gets fouled. And Clark will shoot 2. Just the 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game for Caitlin Clark. A reminder, the Diana Taurasi jersey retirement ceremony coming up next on ESPN in the 2nd game of our Women's Sports Sunday WNBA doubleheader. Clark hits the first. We'll have another doubleheader on Tuesday on ESPN. These Indiana Fever in Toronto to take on the Tempo, and then Atlanta against Vegas. Should be a really good matchup.
We'll be in Toronto.
We will. I love Canada.
Oh, especially Toronto, one of my favorite cities.
In the summer. Timpson checks out again as Clark hits both free throws. Indiana remains in a zone. 3-point game. Clark up to 24 points, 8 assists. Here's Gray giving it up. Okot 3 to shoot. Howard with 1. Howard flings it up. Can't hit. Rebound batted around. Gray comes down with it. Gray lobbing it into Reese. Knocked away by Billings. Here comes Clark. Clark no look to Cunningham. Cunningham trying to squeeze it in, ill-advised. And it last hits Indiana. It'll be Atlanta basketball.
Pushing in transition, Sophie Cunningham was running the floor, but not quite ready for this as she's trying to spray out to the corner, but Caitlin Clark finds her and then wants to get the ball into Billings, but just not the right pass there. Needed to be a nice little bounce pass to lead her.
The officials thought Indiana's bench was trying to call a timeout and challenge that for a deflection, but they were instead just giving their defensive signaling as Gray misses the shot. Here's Clark behind the back, picked up by Reese. Clark into the lane, turns the corner, misses the layup. Billings gets hit, and Monique Billings will shoot 2.
Coaches would be smart not to have any signal offensively or defensively that involved anything that looked like the finger twirl.
I don't think it did. I think there was just a certain amount of numbers on each hand that were going up.
Okay.
But it was done
Digits?
with...
Or were they
not
wearing like a
digits.
foam finger?
No. But it was done with such enthusiasm that I think it halted the officials. As Billings misses the free throw.
He's really struggled from the free throw line.
Yeah, now 0 of 3 today. 79% on the season. And Billings hits the second two-point game. Indiana trailed by 10 in the final seconds of the third. 11 lead changes, 8 ties in this one. Under 4 minutes to go. Gray has tied her career high with 32. And that's going to be an offensive foul. Clark bounced out, and Gray extended the arm.
Astute play by Caitlin Clark as she jumps out knowing that Gray wants to go that way, puts her arm up. So there's no doubt that the foul is not on her. Gray goes right into the chest. Very smart play defensively for Caitlin.
4th foul on Gray, just the 11th turnover for Atlanta. Indiana has just 8 by 1.
One of my favorite things about this league is that every game matters in a 44-game season, and there's still a lot that can happen these last 10 games.
A reminder, we have another game coming your way following this. Diana Taurasi's jersey retirement ceremony up next here on ESPN. Deflected by Boston and taken by Cunningham. Cunningham motoring down the floor, finds Clark, guarded by Pow Pow. Clark, eyes up, gonna shake Pow Pow. Into the paint, spray out, Cunningham, short on a 3. Reese the rebound, that is her 10th. She has had at least 10 boards in 81% of her career games. Just an astonishing number. Howard draws the foul, initiating a little offense there, and will shoot 2. 23rd double-double of the season for Reese. 72nd of her career, already the most by a player in their first 3 seasons. Just a remarkable number.
Numbers don't lie, certainly in this case with Angel Reese and her impact on the game when it comes to rebounding.
Taking a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. Up next on ESPN, Portland, Phoenix, tomorrow on Peacock. Dallas, Golden State at 10 Eastern, then Tuesday night, an ESPN doubleheader, Indiana and Toronto, Atlanta and Vegas. For more on these games, go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app.
The only numbers that lie are when you tell people your height.
Atlanta back up by 1. Clark gives it up. Mitchell trying to come to it. Mitchell gets the angle into the paint, flips it up wildly. Reese there to secure it. Mitchell stuck on 15 points. Has scored at least 20 and 18 straight. Hillman wants it in the post for the finish on Clark.
We saw that to start the 3rd quarter, and then here again, the size mismatch, and she takes advantage.
Atlanta back up by 3. Clark fading, misses the banker. Reese secures the rebound. Atlanta now feeling like they have a little control with just over 2 minutes to go. Indiana 4 for 16 from the floor in this 4th. Reese will fire. Rims off. Timpson and Hillman battling. Hillman able to escape with it. And another chance for Atlanta. Great effort from Hillman. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Reese as she picks up her 4th. Kelsey Mitchell took a shot in the face.
Previous possession, you saw Clark on Naz Hillman. This is the 2nd time this game where they've recognized it, just sent her right into the post, get the direct entry, and let her go to work.
Stephanie White will take a timeout. Indiana basketball trailing by 3, 1:42 to go. Along with Gray, Clark, Mitchell, Boston, Cunningham, and Timpson for Indiana. Here's Clark, wide open 3, missed it. A great play run out of the break, and Clark could not have more space on that attempt. Would have tied the game. 1:20 to go. Howard flings it out. Hillman can't hit. Mitchell the weak side rebound. Fever ball down 3. Mitchell Dashing ahead, will fire, and hit. Tie game at 81.
Tough shot by Mitchell. She was going full speed, absorbed some contact from Gray, retreated, drained it.
1 minute to go, 81 all. What a contest here between the Dream and the Fever. And a timeout taken by Carl Smesko with 53 seconds remaining. How about the speed from Mitchell into the shot?
Full speed ahead, coming right at us here. Head up, coming down. Right there, a little bit of contact, retreat, gets her foot barely behind the line for the three. And Alicia Gray's right there. She's right there to contest. Lots of defenders have been right there on Kelsey Mitchell this season, and it hasn't mattered.
And Gray has done maybe the best job we've seen any defender do against Mitchell this season. But Mitchell has found her footing in this second half, 6 of 9 from the floor. How about also the decision of Steph White to go zone when she did, and how that helped get Indiana back into the game?
They played a lot of possessions here in the fourth quarter of zone. The one drawback for Indiana in that zone is it's enabled Atlanta to get to the offensive glass repeatedly. They're forcing Atlanta into tough shots, but sometimes that's meant long rebounds. And Atlanta, as we know, such a good rebounding team. But yeah, it turned the tide for Indiana, certainly that decision by Steph White.
How about Atlanta offensively here as we take one more look at the three from Mitchell and just how close she was to the three-point line on the step back.
Oh, wow, the toe. The toe was right up against the edge of it.
How about Atlanta offensively here?
Well, you would think Alicia Gray, no matter what, is going to have some touches, but we've seen Ryan Howard be good attacking the basket recently. But Alicia Gray has been the money player all game tonight.
Howard's been a little more aggressive last couple possessions. Yes. Both of those guards capable of getting a bucket on anyone. A reminder, Diana Taurasi's jersey retirement is up next here on ESPN in the second game of our doubleheader. Great doubleheader Tuesday night as well with Indiana, Toronto, and Vegas, Atlanta. You'll see both these teams in action. Long conference here. Tiara Cruz, Randy Richardson, Marcy Williams, our officials. Howard will inbound. Just 11 on the shot clock here for the Dream. Howard looking in. Sprays it out to Gray. Guarded by Clark. 7 to shoot. Gray looking to take Clark. Gray fading. Can't hit. Great box out Boston. Good defense from Clark.
And Steph White went man on that possession, expecting Smesko to drop a play for the zone.
Does Indiana try and go for the 2-for-1? Doesn't look like it. Mitchell turning the corner. Backing away. Lost a shoe. Needs help. Reese knocks it away. Clark calling timeout and gets it. Stephanie White was trying to call timeout for a while. Finally got the call.
Steph White was sprinting down the sideline, calling for the timeout. As soon as Mitchell lost her shoe. Is Mitchell okay?
And all of Indiana going around Mitchell as she gets the shoe back on. That's a very valuable foot over there Kelsey Mitchell has.
She's so fast, comes right out of the shoe here. And then Angel Reese getting her hand on the basketball, but that whole time, Steph White sprinting down the sideline. You see her on the left side of your screen, just sprinting down, dancing, making the timeout motion, and the officials just don't see her very quickly.
And no matter what, she's going to be upset because she's going to have less time here to operate. Also, and we see this at times, you know, tie game with about 38 seconds to go. Indiana could have gone 2-for-1 and had a chance at 2 possessions here. Instead, they won't as we check in with Hall.
I could overhear Tiara Cruz explain to Steph White that they didn't award the timeout because the ball there was not clear possession of the basketball. But that's not true. We saw in that last replay, Steph is clearly calling timeout when Caitlin Clark has possession. They just didn't see it.
Or with Kelsey Mitchell at possession there before it was knocked away. It's interesting, too, because then Clark was trying to call time before she had gotten the basketball back. You'll see it loose, and Clark is trying to call time, but obviously she needs the basketball.
Yes.
So now if you are Indiana, you have the basketball with 4 on the shot clock, 21.7 on the game clock in a tie game.
Indiana typically likes to have Caitlin Clark inbound the basketball because she is such a good passer, and it is hard to get it in. On this possession, it's Sophie Cunningham. You look to get it to Mitchell or Clark.
Indiana has their reset only remaining. Atlanta has a timeout and a reset. Because Indiana just has the reset, that means they cannot challenge should that situation arise. The reset only allows you to advance the basketball and sub, not huddle, nor use it as a bartering trip for a challenge. Cunningham will trigger in, tied at 81, 21.7 to go. What an entertaining contest here. Women's Sports Sunday on ESPN. Cunningham looking in, finds Boston. Boston, 2 seconds, turns, can't hit, rebound batted around. Gray has it, timeout Atlanta. And now the Dream can hold for a final shot.
You saw the little big screen to get Aaliyah Boston the touch. They get it to her in the post extended screen by Caitlin Clark. You like this if you're Indiana. A back down opportunity for Aaliyah Boston. That tends to be a very high percentage look for her. Huge defensive board by Gray.
Especially with 4 on the shot clock,
yes.
You will take that shot all day if you're Indiana.
And the defense is expecting to switch in terms of trying to prevent Mitchell or Clark from getting the ball. Instead, you use Clark as the screener, and you get a nice clear entry into Aaliyah Boston.
Now, Atlanta has a reset timeout remaining, so if they have trouble with the inbound, they can use that. 13.3 to go, and here's also, this is what happens if you don't go 2 for 1. Now Atlanta can just hold for a final shot here in a tie game at 81.
The only screen we're going to have is a white with leash. But I don't care if we can get downhill and get to the heart, we're going to shoot it. You can't go until 6 seconds. It needs to be the last shot, all right? All right.
Okar Smesko gathering his team. 13.3 to go. Tie game. Indiana does have a foul to give. Cunningham, Boston, Mitchell, Clark, and Timpson. The 5 for Indiana. Reese, Borlase, Hillman, Gray, and Howard, the 5 for Atlanta. Going to struggle to score for both teams in this 4th. Dream will try and hold for a final shot. Need to get it in first.
Timpson and her long arms on the ball.
Here is Howard. Shot clock turned off. 8 seconds remaining. 5 seconds. Howard launches. Missed it badly. Reese the putback. Won't go. Hillman, no. And we have overtime. This game, they win the season series. They have the tiebreaker. Indiana wins the game. Season series is split. Tiebreaker still up for grabs. Just a half game separates Indiana from Atlanta. Fever currently the 4 seed. Top 4 get home court in the first round. Jump, batted around, controlled by Atlanta. Been a great atmosphere here at State Farm Arena. These fans have managed.
Fans have managed the heat. Aaliyah Boston brings the heat on this defensive possession against Gray, her former college teammate, knocking it out of bounds.
3 blocks for Boston. 7 to shoot. Gray fading, can't hit. Reese, another board, and that one she puts up and in. 14th rebound for Reese, who has 15 points. Her 72nd career double-double, most by any player their first 3 seasons. Clark passes on the 3. And a whistle as Boston got tied up with Howard.
Angel Reese does her work as soon as the shot goes up, and watch her, how she uses her legs. She steps in, is so strong. Her base is wide. Perhaps the strongest player from the waist down in the league, and she uses it on the glass.
We talked about it earlier. Katie Barnes did a terrific story on her rebounding on ESPN. Highly recommend checking it out. As Clark kicks that one out of bounds, that is her first turnover of the second half. And just off the foot, out of bounds. Indiana's done a really nice job protecting the basketball in this game against a team it's tough to do it against. Boston, another deflection, running the floor, gets fouled and will shoot 2.
Aaliyah Boston has probably 4 deflections in this game. 5?
5th foul on Alicia Gray.
I'm talking about the deflections, and then you can talk about the fouls.
You didn't know what my fingers meant right there.
I did not, but we've seen that from Aaliyah Boston. Just putting her hands up, bats the ball away, gets the opportunity to draw the 5th foul on Alicia Gray, and now take 2 free throws.
I mean, we've seen it a lot from Boston in this game, just up top, snatching these entry passes.
So many good things happen defensively when you have your hands in the air. Waving them like you
care.
Yes.
In this case?
Yes.
Boston ties it. She has 16 points, 10 rebounds. Gray, second time this season she's had 5 fouls. She has not fouled out.
Indiana staying in the zone that was so effective in the 4th quarter.
They held the Dream to a season-low 9 points for a 4th quarter. Here's Howard trying to make it happen. Howard looking to create. Mitchell got in there and knocked it away. Here's Clark. Ahead to Mitchell, low pass. Mitchell digs it up. Timpson finds space, and Mitchell finds her. Indiana back up by 2. Michaela Timpson, a career high, 16 points. Indiana plus 14 in points off turnovers. Gray can't finish it. Here comes Clark. Clark bounces, Cunningham walks the tightrope. Boston looking to take it to Reese. Reese falls, Boston, the pass, Timpson the finish. What a lob from Boston. And Timpson oops the alley. Indiana by 4, timeout Atlanta.
Michaela Timpson works and moves so well without the basketball. She finds open space so that her teammates can deliver it to her. We saw it on the previous possession, and then here, this last one as well, as she navigates the baseline, just moving. Where is the space? Where should I go? Boston comes in, gets to that dunker spot, delivers it, and then Timpson delivers as well.
Timpson, a career high 18 points, 6 rebounds. She has been a revelation for Indiana, and with Aaliyah Boston's ability to space at the 4, and now Timpson and how she operates in the dunker, it's completely transformed the spacing of the Fever offense.
Timpson moves so well without the basketball. She screens well off the ball. She knows her role. She knows what she's good at. She doesn't try to do more than that. And what is she good at? Moving and cutting, working hard. And Mitchell, 2 possessions ago, just dancing around, and you see the space. Timpson, and she expects the ball. Hands are ready to catch it and finish. And then the last possession again, moving well without the basketball so she can present herself to her teammate. Just goes right in and finishes.
Atlanta was certainly looking for a call on that separation from Boston on Reese there.
I think it was the right no call.
Ciara Cruz, Randy Richardson, Marcy Williams saying play on, and Indiana did. 12 ties, 14 lead changes. Fever by 4. Atlanta led by 10 late in the 3rd. Been tightly played throughout. Howard can't hit. Great box out by Timpson, and Boston secures her 12th rebound. Howard looking to deny Clark the basketball. Now Mitchell coming to it. Mitchell, the jitter, the float. Can't finish, but Timpson can. A 20-point night for Michaela Timpson. And the Indiana lead is now 6. Howard spinning, great look, and Hillman lays in a much-needed bucket for Atlanta. That ends an 8-0 run. Still a lot of time left here in OT. 2 minutes to go. Mitchell will take. Can't hit. Air ball out of bounds. Mitchell sitting on 18 points. Has scored at least 20 in 18 straight.
Michaela Timpson one more time. This time the alley is not intentional, but the oop is. The confidence, Ryan, and her able to deliver in these big moments.
Gray, they need it. Don't have it. Back ironing off. Gray with a career high, 32 points so far tonight. 1:30 to go in overtime. Indiana by 4. Clark gives it up. Boston gets it back to her. Clark bounces. Boston, the push shot won't go, but a foul. And Aaliyah Boston will go to the line to shoot 2. And that 2-player action with Clark and Boston is just so tough.
Caitlin just head up, delivering the ball to Boston. And again, she can shoot. She can put the ball on the deck. That time goes into Angel's arms to get the call.
Boston hits the free throw. She's now 5 for 5 from the line in this game.
Or goes into the arms of the Angel.
Ooh. Well done. Boston, 17 points, 13 boards. Clark, 24 points, 9 assists. Mitchell with 18. Gray with 32. Reese has 15, 14, and 6.
We'd like to see Alicia Gray come alive here for Atlanta.
That foul on Reese was her 5th. Here's Howard, guarded by Clark. Howard digs in for the finish and the foul. And a chance for 3 for Ryan Howard.
She has been insisting her way to the bucket. We've seen that from the... And Smart, the exact last possession, Angel Reese gets called for a similar foul on Boston. You create it here, and you get yourself to the free throw line, Ryan Howard.
Howard has 14 points, 5 assists. Indiana lead is 3, coming on a minute to go in OT. Here's Boston. Boston turning the corner. 6 to shoot.
Seen that from
Needs some help. Finds it in Clark. Back to Boston. Will pull. Did she get the roll? No. Out of bounds to Atlanta. Down just 3 with 45.6 to go. Indiana with 2 timeouts and a reset remaining. They're in the bonus. They have a foul to give. Atlanta with 1 timeout in their reset. Howard put it on the deck again. Pow will fire. Short. Boston the rebound. Into the arms of Clark. Atlanta can play straight up defense. 10-second difference game in shot clock. Clark letting it wind. And now Indiana will take a timeout with 23.4 to go. And Indiana leading by 3 in overtime.
Last possession, it was Sophie Cunningham who ended up on Ryan Howard because she had been giving Caitlin Clark some fits, and Howard able to find a really good look for Pow.
So Indiana will still have 1 timeout remaining and their reset. 23.4 to go. Leading by 3. They win this game. The season series is split, and the tiebreaker remains up for grabs. If Atlanta wins, they win the season series, and they would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. Important because Indiana has just a half-game lead on Atlanta in the standings. Right now, that's the separation between 4 and 5. Top 4 teams get a bye in the first round. A reminder, Diana Taurasi's retirement jersey ceremony. Phoenix Portland coming up next here on ESPN. It's the first game of our doubleheader here in Women's Sports Sundays. That game currently on ESPN2, if you were looking for that one. So Indiana basketball, 13 on the shot clock, 23 on the game clock, leading by 3.
Using Sophie Cunningham again to inbound the basketball, and you're confident if you're the Indiana Fever, if any of the big three are involved in this. Doesn't matter if it's Mitchell, Clark, or Aaliyah Boston. We saw the direct entry into Aaliyah Boston, but 13 seconds, plenty of time to run some action or get some screening.
Cunningham gets it into Mitchell. Mitchell will let it wind. Mitchell on the drive, trying to take Reese. Mitchell weighs it in. 2-possession lead for Indiana, and a 19th straight game with 20 for Kelsey Mitchell.
Run the on-ball action so that you get the switch that you want. You get Kelsey Mitchell going to her left, and that is what you want. So she comes up and gets the basketball. Here, Aaliyah Boston going to come over, set the screen, you get the switch. Reese was on her.
Atlanta uses their reset. Need to score in a hurry. Howard got fouled on the 3 by Clark, and 3 free throws here for Ryan Howard is going to resuscitate this game for Atlanta, but Indiana will immediately challenge it. Let's see. Oh, I don't see anything there.
Indiana has taken a timeout to challenge the defensive foul on Caitlin Clark.
There's a little bit of contact.
It's less than contact. It's a touch.
Yeah.
It's a touch, and that, you don't call that all game long. I will be surprised, Ryan, if they don't overturn it here.
Because what they allow for, what the officials allow for, is marginal contact. Now, if that marginal contact makes a major difference, it could be called a foul. In that case, looking at a couple replays, I'd be surprised if that's not overturned. Hence the speed and confidence with which Indiana challenged it.
So yeah, you'll see some fingertips on Ryan Howard by Caitlin Clark, but it does not impact at all the balance with which Howard takes the shot. She's just kind of on a fade a little bit. Watch this, like,
no.
It's almost like fingertips on a keyboard. I will be stunned if they do not overturn that call.
Clark immediately was asking for a challenge.
After review, the contact by Caitlin Clark is deemed illegal. Therefore, it is an unsuccessful challenge. Indiana is charged a timeout. Play will resume with 3 free throws to Ryan Howard, and the game clock will be reset to 10.8 at the point of the foul.
Wow.
I'm surprised.
So an unsuccessful challenge, as that contact was deemed illegal by Clark. Saying maybe throwing off her rhythm or balance on the shot attempt. And so Howard shooting 3. Clark looking at us, wondering on our angles what we saw. Surprised that wasn't overturned, as is Stephanie White and Bree January, who are communicating as such to the officials. So Atlanta now with 3 free throws. Howard, 86% on the season, 5 for 5 on the day. 10.8 seconds remaining in this game. I wonder if there was contact on the leg there rather than the arms, and that is what the illegal contact was deemed.
Maybe.
Let's see, was it the leg contact instead? Yeah, that's what it was. The right foot of Howard hitting against the leg of Clark must have been why they deemed it illegal.
But she was pulling her leg away.
I'm just saying it must have been that, because the hands could not have been enough.
Agree.
And Howard now giving Atlanta a chance. Hits all 3. It's a 2-point game with 10.8 remaining. Indiana now out of challenges. They also are out of timeouts. They use the reset here to advance the basketball.
So you want to be as disruptive as possible if you're the Atlanta Dream. Try to tip the basketball, get a steal, anything to be disruptive and try to get the possession back.
10.8 to go in OT.
But of course, if you don't, you have to foul.
Cunningham into Clark. Clark is fouled immediately. And this has been a familiar spot for Clark this season. As excellent of a free throw shooter as she is, she has missed some key ones in these spots. Missed 2 against Vegas that would have sealed it. Missed 2 against Washington earlier this season that would have sealed it before she ended up hitting a game-winning buzzer-beating 3. Buries the first there to make it a 3-point game. 25 points, 9 assists for Clark. Atlanta has 1 timeout remaining. Here comes the key one to make it a 2-possession lead for Indiana. She got it. 4-point lead for the Fever with 9.8 to go in OT. And now Atlanta will call their final timeout. .8 remaining. Now out of timeouts. You would think Atlanta would want something beyond the arc here.
Yeah.
Since they won't be able to advance it after free throws the next time down.
With this amount of time left, if you had a timeout, yes, you could go quickly and try to get 2. But considering that you do not, and you're going to have to play the foul game if you score, you're going to looking for 3 here.
Well, you know, this is exactly what you hope for in Women's Sports Sundays. A game like this, it's so hot that the tie has to come down. Let me get a little more professional for you. Rebecca, back and forth. I mean, these two teams, this is the kind of games they play seemingly every time they meet.
Yeah, and that's why it was such a great matchup a year ago when they met in the first round of the playoffs. It's been great every time they've met so far this season. Right now, this is the potential first-round matchup with 4 versus 5. And this game has not disappointed at all.
And Atlanta, without a couple of key pieces noteworthy in this game, Jordan Canada and Bree Jones, especially Canada, who has been particularly effective this season against Indiana.
Both defending Caitlin Clark and also pushing pace and being disruptive.
Indiana, the 4-point lead, 9.8 to go in overtime. Borlaise will inbound. Atlanta needs something quick for them, preferably beyond the arc. Here's Gray, the juggle, gives it back. Borlaise can't hit. Rebound Clark, flings it ahead, and that will do it. Indiana hangs on in overtime, 95-91 the final.